Wow, what an awesome episode, guys. I mean, this blew me away. So, in order to get into our review, let's just start right off with what happened. Now, what really made this episode of Dragon Ball Super interesting to me is it didn't waste any time. Goku goes straight into his Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue forms, whatever the hell you want to call it. He just powers up right from the get-go. And that caught my attention because I thought that, looking from the previews, that Goku would have gone into his Super Saiyan God form, at least somewhat throughout the fight. I didn't think he was gonna go straight off the bat, because he was saying from the previous episode that he didn't have to, which is why I was like, okay, well, Goku's gonna try to drag this fight out, and, he's going to, try to pace himself for fighting against him. But he doesn't even do that. He goes straight into a Super Saiyan God form, and we get some good old-fashioned Dragon Ball Z kick-ass action where Goku and Hit are just basically going at it. And what really made this episode really interesting for me is the level of tension. So, as we've learned from the previous episode, Goku basically tries to fight against Hit by predicting his movements, to kind of counter the Toki Tobashi. And Goku, the confident guy that he is, he obviously admits over to, to Hit that that's basically what he was doing. And that actually pissed Piccolo off, because he doesn't want Goku to basically give away, his strategy. But the interesting to this is it's kind of like a chess match, because then Hit, as a response of it, he says, okay, that's fine. I'm going to go at 1/5 of a second ahead into the future. So he's basically going even faster to make it even harder for Goku to, counter his moves, which really made this episode a lot more action-packed. And this is where the tension came in, where Hit is starting to hit Goku. Goku's just falling down. It's looking like Goku's going to lose. And Hit surprisingly doesn't, give up. I mean, Hit surprisingly doesn't, finish Goku off. He just literally just looks at him and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna power up and I'm gonna grow into, my power, unlike you Saiyans, because what separates Hit from the Saiyans is that he doesn't have like a transformation. What he does is he basically grows in some weird fashion to increase his power level. And the weirdest thing about this is he kind of gave Goku mercy. And the funny thing about this is that we've seen this many times before in Dragon Ball Z, where if you give Goku mercy, it's gonna come back to haunt you. So what does Goku do? And Goku gets back up on his own 2 feet. He powers up into his Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Kaioken form. Yes, I know the name is insanely, ridiculous, guys. And I think that was one of the most interesting parts of this episode, because it was so creative. Like, he's literally, combining not only a Super Saiyan, but a Super Saiyan God with Kaioken powers. And then he starts getting the edge on Hit, and then he powers up a super powerful Kamehameha, only to be continued into the next episode. So with all that narrating out of the way, guys, going into the episode itself, this was just amazing. But this was one of those episodes where I would say it was a lot more visual than it was to explain. This is one of those episodes where the action looked good. I thought the animation was fantastic. I thought that, Hit, it was very interesting to see, because once Hit started noticing that Goku was actually doing those things, not only did Vegeta acknowledge that, Goku was powering up, Hit himself was impressed with what Goku was doing. And I felt that really was a testament to Goku's character, and I thought that that's what really highlighted this episode, how Goku's always able to go above and beyond into breaking the norm. So that takes me back to my last week's review. So a lot of people misinterpreted what I was saying in my last week's review when I was saying I was pissed off that Goku's gonna get the win again. I think they misunderstood me. I don't mean from last week's episode that I have a problem with Goku winning. If you love Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball GT even more, you can't enjoy the show without Goku winning. He's the main character, I know that. But what I had a problem with is the fact that they took Goku out of the tournament and they were setting up the events of Dragon Ball Super to go in a completely different direction without Goku, and then push comes to shove, they flip the switch right back again, and then they make Goku, come back into the tournament right after, we obviously learned that, Frost was, poisoning him, and that was an illegal move. And that's what I had a problem with. I had a problem with the fact that if you're gonna take Goku out, don't just put him back in for a cheap reason. That's what pissed me off. I had no problem with Goku winning, because that's what Dragon Ball is. That's the formula for Dragon Ball to succeed. So I hope I cleared that up from my last week's review. And to move on to my predictions for this episode, so it looks like, obviously based off of the title, and I do know some of the spoilers, it says Team Beerus versus Team Champa, who's finally gonna win. it looks to me like this is gonna be it, and this is where Goku's gonna pull out his trump card, and this is where Goku's going to basically make that last second, last instant move, similar to how he fought against Pikkon to basically garner the win. This fight in many ways between Goku and Hit is reminding me a lot of, you know, Goku versus Pikkon, where Pikkon was like the superior fighter, but Goku, you know, although he was weaker, you know, was pretty evident. Goku's using his brains over his brawn in order to win. And I love that part of Goku. I like when Goku outsmarts stronger opponents. And that dates back a lot towards Dragon Ball, where Goku's always finding ways to, you know, to find a way to defeat his opponent without having to, you know, completely defeat him with brute strength. Similar to how, you know, Goku and Ada were fighting that monster in the Red Ribbon Army Tower. How Goku, you know, cracks open the wall, the snow comes in, the monster freezes, and then Goku finishes him off. And I love all of this. Goku's being innovative. Vegeta's admitting that Goku surpassed him. And I feel like now we're starting to see that Goku truly was, you know, the superior fighter within. And although I loved, you know, seeing Vegeta's interaction, you know, this is really hyping me up for, you know, the next episode. And I like to see the fact that Hit was actually going all out now too, and this is going to be awesome, guys. So with all that said, guys, this episode gets a perfect 5 for me. I haven't seen Dragon Ball Super have action this intense and this awesome so far, and this was just a fantastic stud of an episode. I can't even think of anything else to give this but a 5. It's not my favorite episode in the series, but it was great. I found literally no problems with it, except for the fact that maybe halfway throughout the episode it started getting a little slow with Goku just basically just being lying around on the floor. I think that was the only small thing I could nitpick at. I felt they wasted a little too much time of Goku just standing there, and I wish it was just a little bit faster paced, but it was still great in its own right. So with all that said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my review, and for my predictions, Goku's gonna defeat Hit in the next episode, and that's pretty much it. So most importantly, over everything else, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always said, have a great day, guys. And this episode was just fantastic. I love that Kamehameha at the end.